We have breaking news right now. Donald Trump's plan to completely gerrymander Indiana was just completely undercut by his own words, as a Republican state senator in Indiana has come out and said that he won't be supporting Trump's plan to gerrymander the state after Donald Trump called Tim Walz the R slur, a significant break from Trump. And this completely kills any attempt by the president of the United States to gerrymander Indiana. And it comes as Donald Trump is actively meddling in a foreign election, promising to pardon a convicted drug trafficker to assist a certain political party in a foreign election. A bombshell afternoon that you need to know about. So make sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe to support my work. So spread the word. So let's just jump right in. This afternoon, about an hour ago, Michael Bohasek, who is essentially a Republican state senator, a senior Republican state senator from Indiana, he came out and said, quote, "Many of you have asked my position on redistricting. I have been an unapologetic advocate for people with intellectual disabilities since the birth of my second daughter. Those of you that don't know me or my family might not know that my daughter has Down syndrome. This is not the first time our president has used these insulting and derogatory references, and his choices of words have consequences. I will be voting no on redistricting. Perhaps he can use the next 10 months to convince voters that his policies and behaviors deserve a congressional majority." And it comes after Donald Trump essentially tweeted out some of the most racist, not racist, but some of the worst slurs, using the R word as a slur to attack Governor Tim Walz. Let me show you it. Essentially, this is Donald Trump. I'm going to make it a little closer so that you can see it. But he talks about how, quote, "the seriously blank R word, governor of Minnesota, Tim Walz, does nothing, and either through fear, incompetence, or both, while the worst congressman woman in our country, Ilhan Omar, always wrapped in her swaddling hijab." As you can see, he's literally attacking Tim Walz. And folks, let me just tell you something. Donald Trump's words have consequences, and we're seeing it happen right now. The consequence of Donald Trump calling Tim Walz the R word, well, now his plan to gerrymander Indiana has failed. It won't work. Donald Trump desperately wanted to gerrymander Indiana because he knows that he theoretically cannot win the House of Representatives at its current form. And over the past several months, their efforts to gerrymander states across the country have hit multiple snags. In Utah, it was ordered that one district will be a Kamala Harris plus 24 district, despite Trump efforts to gerrymander. In Ohio, they cut a deal where essentially it won't be gerrymandered much at all. In Texas, you have multiple seats being literally potentially overturned, the Texas gerrymander, depending on what the United States Supreme Court does. So everything Donald Trump tried to do is failing. And now his own words are being used against him in real time. And it comes as Donald Trump is panicking right now. Donald Trump is directly and publicly intervening in elections of a foreign nation because he has now promised to grant a pardon to the former president of Honduras, Juan Orlando Hernandez, who is currently serving a 45-year sentence in U.S. federal prison for, among other things, participating in and profiting from a drug trafficking conspiracy that moved more than 400 tons of cocaine into the United States, which is a street value in the tens of billions of dollars. As president, Hernandez took a country that already had deep narco-state characteristics and further centralized and institutionalized a narco-state model. Federal prosecutors showed that he took millions in bribes from cocaine traffickers, including money linked to El Chapo and the Sinaloa cartel, and used the power of his office as president of Honduras to protect traffickers and manipulate police and military operations. And despite all of that, look at the post on the left. If Tito Asfura wins for president of Honduras, because the United States has so much confidence in him, his policies, and what he will do for the great people of Honduras, we will be very supportive. If he doesn't win, the United States will not be throwing good money after bad, because a wrong leader can only bring catastrophic results to a country, no matter which country it is. Tito will be a great president, and the United States will work closely with him in order to ensure the success with all of its potential of Honduras. Additionally, I will be granting a full and complete pardon to former President Juan Orlando Hernandez, who has been, according to many people that I greatly respect, treated very harshly and unfairly. This cannot be allowed to happen, especially now after Tito Asforo wins the election, when Honduras will be on its way to great political and financial success. Vote for Tito Asforo for president, and congratulations to Juan Orlando Hernandez on your upcoming pardon. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Make Honduras great again, President Donald J. Trump. He is actively interfering in the upcoming election on Honduras, telling the people of Honduras, if you don't vote for Tito Asfuro, I will not pardon this former leader. Now, on the right, he says, democracy is on trial in the upcoming elections in the beautiful country of Honduras on November 30th. Will Maduro and his narco-terrorists take over another country like they have taken over Cuba, Nicaragua, and Venezuela? The man who is standing up for democracy and fighting against Maduro is Tito Asfuro, the presidential candidate of the National Party. Tito was the highly successful mayor of Tegucigalpa, where he brought running water to millions and paved hundreds of kilometers of roads. His chief opponent is Rixi Moncada, who says Fidel Castro is her idol. Normally, the smart people of Honduras would reject her and elect Tito Asfuro, but the communists are trying to trick the people by running a third candidate, Salvador Nasrallah. Nasrallah is no friend of freedom. A borderline communist, he helped Xiomara Castro by running as her vice president. And he didn't write that. He didn't write that. There is no way the president of the United States knows that much about Honduran politics. But what is telling here is that he is actively trying to influence the election in Honduras, another country. Imagine if the Honduran leader said, you got to elect Kamala Harris instead of Donald Trump. Oh my God, we would see Truth Social post after Truth Social post after Truth Social post. It would never stop from Donald Trump. And he'd probably pull all funding from Honduras. I mean, it wouldn't be even a discussion. But another point in all of this, folks, is that at the same time that we are actively targeting so-called drug traffickers and narco-terrorists in the Caribbean Sea, he's pardoning one here at home. Today, we learned that we did a double tap. A double tap essentially is when you strike and then you strike again to finish off whatever you struck as the military. And today we did that. We did that in the Southern Caribbean, according to the Washington Post. We struck a boat in early September, killed 9 out of the 11 people on the boat, and then strike again. They did a double tap. That is a violation of international laws of war. That was a war crime. We are actively targeting people in the Southern Caribbean without any due process, without knowing who those people are, and then at the same time pardoning individuals serving decades in federal prison for trafficking narcotics into the United States of America, the exact thing that this president claims he wants to stop doing. And at the same time, Donald Trump's plans to gerrymander the state of Indiana, well, they're completely blowing up in his face because of his own words, because of his choice of words with the words that he used, the slur that he used to attack Minnesota Governor Tim Walz earlier this morning. And so here we are. This is the state of the United States of America. As always, spread the word, like, comment, share, and subscribe to support, and I'll see you soon. Hey folks, Aaron Parnas here. Thank you so much for watching The Parnas Perspective. Please consider subscribing to support our work as we grow this independent news media entity into something that rivals mainstream every single day. Thanks so much, and I'll see you soon.